Hey everyone, how is everyone doing this morning? I hope that you all are off to a fantastic day. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. I would love for you to subscribe. If you guys have been here a few times, have not subscribed, I invite you to do so as well. Would love for you guys to join the channel. Also, if you guys have been here a time or two, hi, welcome back. I'm so glad that you guys are here. In today's video, we are just going to be testing, honestly, just so much makeup. Like, I have just makeup galore. So if you guys are excited to see what we're going to be testing out, what I think of the products, then definitely keep on watching. So we have a couple skincare products. We have a good portion of skincare items in some of these bags. One is a little bit more skincare heavy than per se the other one. This is a little bit more skincare heavy. But we're going to use a little bit of the skincare products to go through here. I've already like wash toned my face. So, and also some of these products are going to be kind of a coming back to kind of a thing. So first is this, it comes with this little baby Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Smooth Lining Gloss. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to apply that to my lips. I'm here for that. I will say, I'm not really getting a lot on the doe foot. Like, I'm really not getting this. My lips just don't, they look shiny, they don't feel hydrated. So next up in the skincare realm is, I have this again from the Cream Shop. This is the Clear Glow Essence Serum. I've really been enjoying this. I like this a lot. I really feel like it does provide a really nice healthy glow. But then with this comes this little Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. It says to mix in with like a serum. Yeah, to oil or whatever. So I'm just going to pump in a little, let's do a couple. I'm going to do like a couple drops. I'm going to mix it up. Whoa! Okay. Oh boy. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. Because now I'm bronzed and I am extremely pale. Maybe I should have just went with one drop. I don't know. But as you can tell, like that serum just provides like this really pretty glow. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I feel about these bronzing drops, if we're gonna be honest. I mean, it really bronze, but when you're as pale as I am, that may not be the best. That may not be the best idea. Next up, we've used this before. This is the Undone Beauty. This is supposed to be like a primer oil for like your before skincare or before makeup, you know, like an actual primer, not something you would use in your skincare routine. I just wanted to come on and like update that. For me personally, I really like this in my skincare, like on days when I just really need more hydration. My skin right now has just been so dry, so I really like putting this on. It really gives a nice good sense of like hydration. I don't really find that it pills. I use like a ton of different products, and I have just found that no matter what the products are that I'm using, whatever moisturizer I'm using, sunscreen, I don't find that it pills, where with some oils it can get very pilly, and I don't find that. So I really do, I'm enjoying that, but I like that only in my skincare routine. I would never use that for just priming with my face with makeup. So then comes in with this little thing, is this little plump hyaluronic acid cream from Glow Recipe. We're just going to take some of this and we're just going to dab some of that on the face. This thing, it's very nice. I have the big version of this. Click on it in a trim box. The one thing I really like about this is how hydrating it is, but like at the same time it's not super thick. But again, it really just provides really good hydration, adds a little bit of a glow. You know, we're just looking fancy. We're just looking fancy. We'll go ahead and we'll move on into this sunscreen, which is the Super Gloop Glow sunscreen. I mean, our skin is already really glowy, kind of hoey. But I can't remember the last time I've really used Super Gloop sunscreen. It's been a long time. It has a little bit of a tint to it. I guess I didn't realize that. I thought it was more like a translucent type of sunscreen. But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. So we're going to let all of those products kind of take some time, sink in, and then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to start working on the eyes. So So for the eyes, I have this palette from Lawless. This is the lavender one. So this is definitely going to be a little bit more of that like purpley type palette. I'm kind of hoping we could maybe use some of these shades over here to maybe create a little bit of a look. It's a little bit more pastel, so I am kind of wondering how well this will apply with, so I'm going to use a little bit more of a dense fluffy brush instead of just a fluffy brush to see if maybe we can get that to go on a little bit better. So do these have shade names? Okay. This shade right here, which is going to be lavender. So we're going to go into lavender first. It's hard to know if like the shades are like in order or not. Actually, let me zoom you in. Hello. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to start getting started on this. I will say upon first, you know, dipping in and applying that it's really pigmented. It's blending nicely. I will say I will have to kind of like build this up a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. I feel like stamping then blending is probably the way to go with this. That's what I'm gonna guess. I'm going to take that exact same brush and I'm going to move on into, let's try this shade right here. This is going to be Orchid. These shades, especially for them being pretty, you know, pastel, lavender type tones, I will say that they are doing really well. Pigmented, blending, buildable, which is very interesting, especially for a really pastel type shades. Sometimes you really have to use those really dense packing brushes to really get product onto, you know, the lid. And with this, I'm finding, granted this is like a stiffer, like I would, you know, like a more of like a medium, instead of like a large fluffy brush, medium to small, like a smaller medium type of blend, like blending brush. And I'm having no issues getting that like packed on there or anything like that. Like I think this is going really well. So we'll move on into the outer corner. So I'm going to take the shade right here called Blackberry. I'm going to pick a little bit up. I don't know how much to pick up. Okay, that's not bad. I didn't want to pick up too much, but didn't want to pick up not enough either. Here's where my contemplation lies. I want to try going in with this shade first, this matte shade. This is in the shade Rosewater. I want to try taking that and kind of putting that as like an all matte, as if we're doing an all matte look. I'm going to see how that looks. If I don't really care for it that way, I think then I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of glitter, a little bit of shimmer. I think that's cute. You know, I would say let's do a little bit of a shimmer, but I don't want it to be too much. So I'm going to go into this shade right here. This is called Rose. I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger and I'm just going to lightly just kind of tap that around just so there's like a little bit of glitter. But I don't want it to be a ton. I feel like I didn't really get much. Okay, the shimmers feel a little bit dry. Not gonna lie, but I think it does do a good job to add some like toppering-ish to it. On top of that, I think that's pretty. Not too much, but you know, just a nice subtle softness to it. Lashes are now on. We are going to move into this Guerlain Terracotta Le Tint. This is supposed to give you a healthy glow, natural perfection foundation, 24-hour wear, no transfer. 95% naturally derived ingredients. Let's see, just the box. Formulated exclusively with naturally derived functional ingredients and pigments. The lightness and radiance of a powder, the long-lasting perfection of a foundation. Ooh, okay. I don't know. I feel like very iffy about things that say it's like a natural foundation, like almost like a second skin. Because sometimes I find those to be pretty matte. Okay, so yeah. Guerlain being like the prestige, that's about 2 pumps. High-end brand that it is. I feel like that might be a little bit too yellow for me. Of course, has put rose scent in this bottle. So this foundation is heavily fragranced with rose scents. That's not my favorite, and it's really strong. Like now that I'm putting this on, breathing is not really my thing. Let's get some going down here since we're definitely looking a little bit darker than I had originally anticipated, but I actually really do like this foundation. I'm not really having a whole lot of issues with it. I will say I think that like the bronzing drops, things like that, isn't really helping a lot in terms of like the color match. But overall, I don't think it looks bad. I think that looks pretty decent actually. Moving on is going to be the Rare Beauty. This is the new Warm Wishes Effortless Bronzer Stick. They came out with some new shades, and so I now have the shade Bright Side. This is supposed to be a little bit more cool. I do like the formula of this product. I think that what threw me off a lot was the fact that it was just so warm. As you can tell, it's definitely a lot cooler. So we're just going to go ahead and start out. I mean, yeah, that's like, I feel like that's perfect. We're gonna be honest here. I think that looks good. So let's just stipple out the first amount of product. If we need to add more, we always can. I usually find I don't need to add a whole lot more. But with it being cooler, let's see if we do or not. I don't think so. I think that looks really good. And I will say, like, after I've blended it out, like, it's not cool. And it's not really warm either. This is really a perfect neutral. So if you were a little bit disappointed, you don't want something obviously that's going to sculpt and contour. You want something that's going to give you a little bit more warmth. But maybe you're really fair like me, and going a little bit too warm may not look the best, you know, because you're just so cool toned. This is perfect. It's really like that really nice neutral bronzer. And then I'm just going to take the foundation side and kind of just go around the edges. Make sure that's really nice and blended into the skin. Okay. So then we're going to try again. I know, I've tried like 700 of these. I like them every time. But it's going to be another Jaclyn liquid blush, blurring cheek tint. Plush Berry is what this is called. I felt like this could go really well with the eye look. I'm just gonna stipple like a tiny dot on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna pick it up. Okay. I will say I really liked the first few colors. I feel like with this, I'm having a little bit of issue getting this color to kind of blend out. I feel like it's kind of pick a little bit more up, but yeah, it's not applying as good as the others. I feel my face. Okay. That foundation kind of does feel almost like a powder on the skin now. I'm gonna dab off, I'll dab another one, but I just don't feel, I feel like for as dark as this berry is, that I should be getting a little bit more pigmentation. Because I feel like the other ones that I tried were really pigmented. I only needed the one dot to really do both sides of the cheeks and have it really pigmented. But this one, I just don't feel like it is. And that's kind of disappointing because I could see in a way why you would maybe do that. So that way, you know, you could build it up. It could fit more skin tones. But I think like those of us that are, you know, fair, light, have enough of blushes in this collection that really work for us, that I really feel like we could maybe, it just doesn't really, we maybe could have just allowed this one to be a little bit more pigmented. It's just my opinion. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and work on my lower lash line. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing we did at the top on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and take that first shade we went in with, that lavender shade, and just kind of start smoking it out. Then we'll move on into that next shade, which is Orchid. Bring that up a little bit closer. And finally, we'll take that Blackberry shade. We're going to focus that on like the outer third of the eye. Inner corners, really wanted to add some shimmer, so I'm going to go into the shade right here called Pink Salt. And we're just going to focus that in here. So for blush, I want to dive back into this Blend Bunny Juicy type palette. I want to go in with this shade right here called Sticky Sweet for our blush. I really like this palette. I think it's a really good palette. And I'm just going to take that and just start getting some purple blush going. Really cute. This is a little bit more pink than purple, so I'm going to add a little bit of Ripe, which is that darker purple shade. I'm just going to layer that just kind of right on top. I only took like a tiny amount. That's definitely turning a little bit more purple now, so I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just start off with that shade that's a little bit more pinky, the Sticky Sweet, and do my blush draping. So then for highlighter, we have this from Kaja. They came out with a little multi highlighter trio. So it's really cute. I really like how like this is like on the top it says Viva Shine Kaja, and each part, you can put this on your eyes or you can put this on your face. So we have this one, we have that one, and then last is going to be this one. And I think honestly for today's look, I kind of want to go in with, the first one. Or, ooh. The first one's really kind of chunky and glittery. I don't really like that. How does the middle one feel? Still really glittery, not as chunky or as dry. And then the bottom one, okay, that one's really nice and smooth. But I think that might be a little bit too dark for me. So I'm going to go in with the, I guess we're going to go in with the second one. So, okay, I don't like this. I don't like this. When you're rubbing your brush in there, do you see it's just falling out? I don't really care for this. I really like Kaja. I really like the bento stacks, like with their eyeshadows. Especially like their shimmer ones. I thought those were really good. I don't not care for this though. I do not. Okay, well, let's take a little bit of that and let's like apply it to our lids. See if we can get a little bit more like a little bit more of a vibe. Yeah, we can. I think that's really pretty. I think these will be probably better for like the eyes more so than a highlighter, truthfully. I don't really care for that. They're so chunky. They're so chunky. I'm not a fan. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the face. So in one of those kits came this Tower 28 Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I have not tried this and I don't really remember anybody talking about this. I'm going to get it nice and shook up. Let's see, what is the mister like? It's not a bad mister. It kind of smells almost like a pool in a way. So the final product we're going to be trying is another Blend Bunny lip oil. This one is in the shade Love Bite. So we're going to take that. I will say these doe foots just don't get off a lot of product. It literally just pulls off like one dot. It just doesn't work as well. Yeah, just doesn't. probably one of the annoying parts of it. It's just, it just doesn't get a lot off. So you have to keep continually going back in, which can be very frustrating. But it does have a little bit of like a mintiness to it. It does have like a little bit of like a nice mintiness to it. Almost like you're drinking like mint tea. Something like that. That's what that kind of reminds me of in a way. So it's not awful. I just wish it was easier to come off. So here's the completed and final look. Testing out some new makeup. Let me know what you guys think of these products down below. Are these products you are wanting to pick up? Are there ones that now after seeing this you don't want to pick up? Let me know all that down below. Let's go ahead, let's dive on into the ranking portion. So coming in last place, my least favorite thing would probably have to be like this little kit right here. This is the Sephora Clean Me Up kit. It's like clean beauty. For me, I will say, you know, a lot of these products in here aren't awful. I own a lot of them. I really like this this moisturizer. I think that's really good. I like these blushes from Rose Inc. They do kind of go bad a little kind of quickly. So if you are somebody who you have a lot in your collection, you don't think you'd be able to use these up, they do go bad relatively quickly. I would say 3 months, and mine was already just like not any good to use anymore. This Lawless Forget the Filler, I already have those in larger sizes. I don't hate them, but as you notice when I was trying to put them on with the applicator, it took a really long time for me to be able to get a lot of product for my lips to feel like any sort of like hydration. Besides that, it just looked like it was hydrated, but it almost was like my lips just like sucked all the water out, and then it was that was it. That's just not something I'm here for. This perfume does not smell good. I don't like the way it smells. It's very, very florally. I'm more of a sweet type of person. Have not tried this, but that's a product that I don't have, so I'm really excited about that. The next one is, this is a body lotion. I've used that a few times. It is nice. And then this Tower 28 mascara. I have that, and I like that as well. I just think like overall, there's just better values out there. I'd rather, honestly, after now that I've gotten that and used some of the products that I hadn't used in a while, I probably would have wished to have like bought something more full size that I really wanted instead of my money on that. Next up is probably one of my biggest disappointments, is going to be this Kaja highlighter stack. The first two are just, honestly, they're just so chunky. I think that the first two are really, really good for like the eyes. The only thing is that this one right here is really nice and really smooth, but I'm so fair and it gives like a gold tint that's just going to be way too deep for my skin tone. Like, as you can tell, like on camera, it's just a little bit too deep for my skin tone. So that was highly disappointing. I was really excited. I love like the Kaja bento stacks. I have like ones with mattes. I have ones with mattes and shimmers. I have ones with just shimmers, and I love all of those. So I was really, really excited for the highlighter stack, but it was just so chunky. I just was not here for it. Next up is going to be this Guerlain foundation. I have to get a little bit more of some like thoughts on it. I need to like try with like primers and like skincare that I really like instead of trying like new things. I will say it does kind of set down like that like second skin. I don't really notice that this provided a whole lot of radiance. As it said, I feel like, the priming of the face, I think this is making my face itchy, truthfully, because like my face is so itchy. And it's so rose scented, and it is heavy and it is powerful. I think it's starting to make me really itchy and break out. So I'll have to update you on this, but also I just don't like the finish of it a whole lot. There really wasn't a lot of radiance. It almost sat down a little bit more matte than like skin-like. So that probably is not going to be for me with very, very dry skin. Like I'm talking dry. Like skin tints are more of my jam. Medium coverage are more of my jam than something like that. And also I just don't like the scent. Next up is going to be this from Sephora, the VACAY All Day. There's a lot in here that I really like. They have an ABH brow gel. I already have one of these. These little pollution drops, probably not for me. This setting spray was interesting. It was very nice, very refreshing and hydrating, but it kind of almost reminded me of a pool in the way. The Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, it's and waterproof. Like, who doesn't know about this? Super Goop. I can't remember the last time I've used that, and now that I've used it again, I'm kind of like, as much as I thought I did, or maybe it's just because I didn't get a good shade, or I'm not sure. Next up is this body scrub. I am a huge body exfoliant, so this is the exfoliating body serum. So I'm excited. I haven't used that in the shower yet because I have a ton that's in there, so I need to use up. These Makeup by Maro Glow Serums, they're phenomenal. I really do like these for like a really nice light day. You have the Way Scalp Scrub. Haven't tried that yet. You have the OG Freckles. This is was actually in my wish list cart. I'm wanting to do this on like a no makeup day, so I'm excited to try that. And then this Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think my bag came with one of these. I think like somewhere along the way they forgot to put one in because I don't have this at all. So couldn't tell you what I think about that because I haven't used that at all. But if it's like the tinted moisturizer bronzer but a blush, I think I would love that. Next up is going to be this from Jaclyn Cosmetics. It's the blush. I really love her blushes like in this, but this just really didn't have the amount of pigment I really felt it could have. I know it's like, well, it's a little bit lighter side away. It's more versatile for all skin tones. But you know what? With as many of them as she launched 8. I'm okay with working with some shades where maybe it might be a little bit too deep and I really need to work on like blending it out and then tapping it on slowly and working it that way. Just that way people of deeper skin tones have the ability to use products like these, and not have to sit there and keep building and building and building, using up like 10 times more product than like I would. I'm okay with that. So for me, this one was just disappointing. I liked the other colors, but I wish that had like the pigmentation that the other ones did, where it only had to put one tiny drop and be able to cover both both cheeks with intensity. And that one just didn't. Next up is the Blend Bunny Lip Oil. These are really nice, thick. I like that aspect. The one thing I don't like is you just don't get a lot on the applicator. Like you keep having to go in and in and in, and I just don't care for that. I would like to be able to go in, cover up my whole lip with like a really nice, juiciness. Whereas this, I'm having to go in like 3-4 times just for just for the bottom of my lip, and then do the same on the top. It just doesn't get a lot of product off because I think the doe foot's just so big that when it comes out of the opening, it clears off a lot of the product. Which for me, I like something that's really nice, thick, and hydrating. So if you're not into that, maybe you might like these a little bit more than me, where you only have like a little bit at a time. But for me, I like something really nice, big, and juicy, so I like to have a little bit more product. So coming in third place is going to be this Lawless The One palette. I thought this was really pretty. Again, this is more of a pastel type palette, but I really didn't have any issues with the shades. I will say the shimmers are kind of a little bit more of like a soft type of shimmer. It's not like super, I don't even know if you can tell here, like it's not like super metallic. So definitely, be mindful of that. If you want something super metallic, you're not going to get it with this palette. But I thought the mattes performed really well, especially for them being, pastels. I thought they worked well. I will say though, you only have 5 mattes. So, I mean, really, you're going to be kind of limited in the looks that you can make. They're mostly going to come out pretty similar. You're going to have something that might be a little bit more neutral, something a little bit more purple. So that's kind of where that is. Next up is going to be this Blend Bunny Juicy Cheek Palette. I really do enjoy this palette. I think there's a lot of really cool, fun colors that are in here that a lot of brands don't have. So I think it would be fun for them. I know they have the Bare Cheek one as well. I think it'd be cool for them to come out with some more colors. I really thought they really put a lot of thought into what colors they put in there versus like the Bare Cheeks one. I thought the formula is really good. It's nice and pigmented, builds up, blends out easily. I have no issues. So in first place is going to be the Rare Beauty New Bronzing Color Stick. I thought that was, my face is really itchy. Really itchy. I thought that was really a really fantastic color. I really like the formula. It's so easy to blend, easy to build up. But I don't feel like this one is just so bronze where I'm looking a little Oompa Loompa. But this one, I feel like it's nice and neutral, which is what I really like. It's not too cool, where it's almost like it's sculpting, and I would need to go in with another bronzer if I was doing like an all cream look. But it's also not so warm that I'm looking a little orange, a little too orange. So I feel like this is just the perfect. And again, this is such a great product. So that is it for today's video, testing out some new products. Again, let me know down below what you think. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, click the little bell if you have not yet already. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!